Hello and what is going on, lovely people of the internet? It is Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. Today we are going to be going over Workhorse once again. It's been a while, guys. Ape Centaurs, make some noise in the comment section down below. Workhorse had a very interesting day today. It didn't really have too much volume comparative to where its price went, which is interesting. It was up about 9%, I think even 10% on the day. Let's take a look at it right now. So we closed the day up 10.24% and it's down about 0.6% in after hours, and it really didn't have too much volume. And the days to cover on Workhorse is very, very high. It's over 8 days to cover on Workhorse because the short interest is astronomical on this stock, and we really didn't see huge volume until the end of the day, and there was a huge volume spike at the end of the day at close, which is very interesting. And when you don't see large volume, I don't think retail is buying up this stock, right? Because all these other stocks that retail is a big fan of, such as AMC, BBIG, a few others, ATER, you see huge amounts of volume in the stock. In this stock, you just don't see it. So I don't think this is from retail buying pressure at all. And there's been a few weird things in the short interest, which we're going to go over in just a moment, which could have led to potential short covering in this stock. There was also a spike up in dark pool volume today in Workhorse. So we'll just get right into this Ortex data. As you guys can see, from the last time we've covered Workhorse, the cost to borrow is up to 12%, which is a lot higher than we've seen before. Now, the borrowed shares is up 1 million shares, and what I wanted to point out, and this is on today, so 1 million more shares were borrowed as of today, which doesn't really make too much sense. If we go over here to the availability, you can see that only 40,000 are available now, and then as of opening, only 150,000 were available to be shorted, and we had another 1 million shares borrowed, as well as return shares being only 500,000. So there is a few shares that have been borrowed today that were not available to be borrowed. So I do expect, because of today's trading date, that many failure to delivers are going to occur. The utilization at 100% now. It was at 100% 7 days ago. It's staying at 100%, guys. There is no available shares to be shorted. Pretty much the entire float is being utilized to be short. And you guys can see right here, the shares on loan is 79.7 million. It's pretty much capped out at 80 million shares on loan. They don't really seem to be able to put more shares on loan from what I can tell. And the estimated short interest is astronomically lower than that of the shares on loan at 44.7 million shares. Now, we've talked about the discrepancy between the shares on loan and the estimated short interest in Workhorse before, and there are a few different theories of what could potentially be going on. There could be some big player, a whale, that has borrowed all this stock and paying that interest rate, waiting for a time that they can unload short positions onto Workhorse and manipulate the price downwards. There's also the potential of these shares being borrowed again by big players, because no small player can really borrow over 1 million shares, so it has to be a big player, and they're borrowing this, shorting in the money call options, or just shorting call options in general against these borrowed shares, hiding some of the short interest on Workhorse. So I don't know for sure. Those are my two theories of what could possibly be going on, but I do think something suspicious is going on with Workhorse, and we'll just get right into the chart down below. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to put on the chart was the days to cover, and the days to cover, as you guys can see, using the last 2 weeks volume, is about 11.47 days, which is extremely higher than some of the other stocks I've been talking about here on this channel. Other stocks we see are all under 1 days to cover, meaning that a short squeeze is unlikely to occur in great volume. In Workhorse, if shorts were to cover on Workhorse, it would send the price shooting up to the sky, because the 3 months days to cover is 8.69 and the 2 weeks days to cover is 11.47. So if shorts were to cover on Workhorse, it would take them an entire 11 days to cover, which means an epic short squeeze would occur if shorts actually covered on this stock. The utilization is charted here in the yellow, and you guys can see as of the beginning of August, it just beelined at 100% utilization. If we put the cost to borrow on this chart, you can see that as soon as that utilization spiked up to that 100%, the cost to borrow has been going up almost each and every single day. We haven't seen a day where the cost to borrow has been going down on Workhorse. So here we have the orange line, which is the free float on loan that we saw in June started spiking up. As you guys can see, at the end of May, it was at about 39 million shares, and it has been going up ever since. That initial short squeeze push that we saw in June initially spiked this up, but it continued to go up each and every single day, and you don't get the full picture until you put the estimated short interest up there as well. As you guys can see, the estimated short interest seemed to drop a lot and has stayed pretty much flat, while the free float on loan has been going up, and it just doesn't really make too much sense, and there's a huge discrepancy between the amount of free float that is on loan and the estimated short interest. Now, over here, when you see that big drop in short interest, that was from exchange reported numbers reporting a much lower short interest than Ortex had estimated at the time, which sent this thing down. But ever since then, you don't really see a huge push in the estimated short interest with that free float on loan increasing. Now I'm going to keep free float on loan, and one thing that I wanted to point out that I fully don't understand myself is that if we put this security lending volume here on this chart, the last 2 days we have seen the lowest security lending volume that we have seen all year. On Friday, September 24th, it was at 1.2 million in security lending volume, and on Thursday, September 23rd, there was only 600,000 in security lending volume. Every other day is over 2 million to 3 million, usually being over 3 million in security lending volume, as you guys can see as I briefly just scroll through this. So at the end there, you see that the security lending volume has gone down significantly, which probably means that they can't put any more shares on loan, which means that the orange line there should also be plateauing, and likely, I don't know if shorts have any ammo left on this stock. And just to show you guys, this price spike that we saw today was not met with huge volume. It's not even the biggest volume that we've seen on Workhorse in the past week. And if you compare it back to June, it's nowhere near that June volume. Although we did see a similar spike at the end of May where there was low volume and a spike up in price in Workhorse. So is this a catalyst? It potentially could be. And because the volume is so low on Workhorse, when you do see a move like that today, it can very well mean short covering on Workhorse. So we won't have any answers because of that T+2 settlement date. So in 2 days, we're going to have to revisit and see how many shares were returned. But there's a very good chance that 100% utilization, the cost to borrow going up, as well as the securities lending volume going down significantly, might be a sign that there is a reversal in Workhorse stock. I'm not going to make any bold claims because it is still sitting down very low. And when you look at the chart over the past year, if we do the box technique, pretty much all shorts have made money on Workhorse currently, and they've been paying a pretty low cost to borrow. So almost every person that shorted this stock in the box region right here has made money on Workhorse. So I don't want to make any bold claims for a short squeeze yet, but there is a chance that shorts are finally closing some of their positions for the first time, and that's obviously not a short squeeze. I mean, the price has to go up for there to be a short squeeze, but if shorts are closing their positions, it could be a catalyst for a potential run in Workhorse. Taking a look at the daily options flow that we saw today, these are only bets that are above $10,000 or more. We saw it pretty split, bullish and bearish, with 2 more bullish bets being placed. Now only 2 of the call options are expiring in October. The other ones are expiring in either 2022 or 2024. The put options as well are all expiring in 2022, besides for the one that was placed right before close, which is expiring 10/1, which means this person who did 12K in premium expects Workhorse to probably sell off within the next day. You can also see that this was part of a multi-leg option strategy, so this put option wasn't just some guy buying a bunch of 15 strike puts expiring in a few days. He likely had a different trade looped onto it that we just aren't seeing right here. We also got today an $8.50 call alert expiring 10/22 for Workhorse, which is the first alert that we've seen on Unusual Whales since the beginning of September. This alert was also free, so even if you're not paying for an Unusual Whales membership, you could have gotten this alert for free. The other ones were premium alerts. If you wanted to check out Unusual Whales, there's a link below, first link in the description. If we take a deeper dive at this alert, you guys can see that the ask was 55 when the alert was fired, and it has already gone up to 0.67, so you've already made money on this alert if you did trade Workhorse. Taking a look at the historical options flow, you can see that more calls than puts are being traded on Workhorse, and it is about 50-50 split with bearish and bullish premium. We did see a spike up in call option volume today, but even earlier this week had similar call option volume, so there's nothing significant, and I don't think a gamma squeeze will occur right here in June. This is where the call option volume spiked up significantly, and that's where you will see a gamma squeeze. You can also see that dark pool volume was up today, which always tends to happen when there is a big move in Workhorse. You can also see the biggest option trades for today. 7 of them were bullish, 3 of them were bearish, 2 of them were put options, and 8 of them were call options, 2 of them selling a call option, 1 of them selling a put option. So currently Workhorse is looking good for a nice rebound, but I do not think a short squeeze will come just because shorts are still greatly profiting by their short positions overall in Workhorse, and it's unlikely to see any type of short squeeze until we get into like the $14 or $15 range. So all in all, I do think that today was a nice rebound for Workhorse. There's definitely a possibility that some shorts did cover with that cost to borrow going up, utilization beelining at 100, and the security lending volume going down. So I don't know how many more shares can actually be loaned out for Workhorse. So that's potentially a catalyst, but the risks are the fact that shorts are still greatly in the money for Workhorse. So most shorts have profited by shorting Workhorse to date. So majority of them are in no rush to close their positions. We also have the risk that there are so many more, almost 40 million shares on loan that aren't being accounted for in the current short interest in Workhorse. So we don't know if there's a big player using those shares on loan, just getting ready to hammer down the stock price even more. And we just don't know. We also don't know if those shares are on loan so that some people are shorting in the money call options and essentially hiding short interest in Workhorse. That's another very likely scenario that could be playing out currently. But what we do know is that the days to cover is very, very high on Workhorse. And if shorts were forced to cover, it would take them over 8 days to cover, meaning that the stock price of Workhorse would shoot up like absolute crazy if a lot of shorts needed to cover for whatever reason. There is a rumor going around that Workhorse has a potential partnership with Walmart. There was a van spotted in their facility that had the Walmart colors, so potentially that could be a catalyst, but we didn't see huge volume today, so I just don't know. I think the price jump that we saw today definitely was some type of short covering, but we will find out more information, especially when we see that T+2 settlement. So I'm excited to see what's to come with Workhorse, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you guys have not already, please leave that like on the video. It's highly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit that bell down below. That's about it for Workhorse. I hope you guys have enjoyed and have a wonderful, fantastic day. Peace.